How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my Black Torch. I was about to say Nexumon. I was about to say it. But Black Torch Chapter 8 review, and we are finally starting the third Tankobon. So that's great. So chapter is called Turn Up, and we resume right from the last chapter when Jiro's fighting this like cat venom cat thing, right? So Jiro's kind of saying, "Yo, this thing is big and fast. Like, how unfair is that?" And the cat starts talking. He's like, then I will tell you, basically, right? And we cut outside, and the flower imprisonment starts turning black. Now the girl, I'm not gonna go look up her name, but the one who started this flower trick, she's like, oh my god, what's going on? She's like, and she was like, what's wrong? Oh yeah, Fuyo is her name. Fuyu was like, yo, this is impossible. I've lost control of the ability, like the flower imprisonment. And um they're like, wait, what? So what's gonna happen? Like, is this bad? And she kind of says like they have to break out of it on their own, unless they'll be trapped there forever. So then we go back into the past and we see Rango and Jiro just kind of chilling out by like a shrine, and they see they're in a village basically, and they see the killing stone, the same killing stone that they found at the end, at the bottom of that area of the shrine that they were in on their first mission. So like, yo, this is the same killing stone, this is the same shrine. And we get to see someone walk up to like the shrine, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Master Rango, how are you?" Right? And they kind of greet each other, and they're having a little talk. And basically, he says like, "Oh, thank you for this harvest season. Because of you, we were able to pay our rent, basically." And Rango's like, "Oh, like, I don't really care, right?" And he's like, don't worship me, I only like this place just because it looks nice, but other than that, it is what it is. And the boy is like, oh, I'm very grateful for you. I'm glad our local deity could be somebody as powerful as you. Because of you, our village is safe and happy. And um and so they're just, Jiro and Rango are just kind of thinking like, oh shoot, okay. So we're really far back in history. We're in the Edo period of the fifth the sorry real so they're in the 15th year of the Kairo era, which is the eighth shogun ruled in the Edo period. That's where they are. So they're pretty far back in history. So then afterwards, another man comes up, and he is a Mononoke called Am Amangi. And so this person is wearing just a cloak, and he has just a white cloak. I like his pants because they're nice flowery pants. They're black pants with a flower design on it. So then this a monkey guy, he's talking to Rango, and Rango's eating some fish, which is kind of funny. If you ever see this, it's page 25, and how Rango's is drawn is just funny. But anyway, sorry. They're talking about an organization of how the humans are getting smarter, and they've created an organization called the Oniwaba Sushu, which is, if you remember from chapter one, it's the old Bureau of Espionage, basically. And the current Ringo sees this, and he's like, "Oh my god, I remember this face. This is the face that got me out of the Killing Stone." And so, as they're talking, past Rango and past Rango and Amangi, they're like, okay, so this organization is coming up, killing Mononoke, and these guys are pretty good. They're pretty good at slaying us. So I want to have a counter organization to take these guys down. and a bunch of his goons, a bunch of Amangi's goons to show up basically. And they're convincing Rango like, yo, join us. And Rango's like, I refuse. They're like, what? And Rango's like, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm living my own life. I'm just minding my own business, basically. If you want to do it, go for it. But you know what? Just leave me out of it. So a monkey's like, you know what? You could either join the humans or you could get hunted down. That's how it's gonna work. Nothing in between, basically. And he says that I will come back tomorrow for your final and get your final decision. So then the next day happens, and a monkey's walking up. He sees Rango, and he's like, "Hey, as promised, I've returned to hear your answer." And he's like, "I'll admit, this is a lovely area. The land is fertile with the air and water are pure as clear. And best of all, the food here is delicious." And when he says that, he's holding the head of the boy that was talking to Rango at the beginning of this flashback. And Rango loses it. We see Rango like go ape. And that Venom cat thing we saw earlier is actually Rango. Rango is the one who is fighting Rango and Jiro in the flower encampment basically, and he practically fires up a like a settle basically and just fires it right at Monkey, and he blows a good portion of stuff to the point where Amangi is just like he only has one arm left, and he's kind of busted basically. And Amangi's telling him, he's like, yo, this is your fault. I told you you could have come with me, but you chose to stay here. I killed these people. I killed this village. This is on you basically. And Rango's like, you know what? I told you I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be a part of anything. And he goes to the killing stone and he seals himself up. And that is how Ringo was in the Killing Stone, sorry, the Killing Stone to begin with. Um, Ringo now snaps back to reality in that crystal state, and and Jiro kind of says like, "Hey, you were alone then, but you're not alone now. This is a choice you made. You made it that day when we met, when you saved my life. Humans, Mononoke, allies, enemies. Uh, did you think about any of the nitpicky crap when you saved me?" And um, Jiro has sorry, Ringo has a little bit of sarcasm. He's like, "Yo, at the end of the day, I had to go and fuse with a brat like you," and um, the past Rango who they're fighting, they're like, "Yo, if you I want to be alone. I am alone. I am in no side of this. I'm not on the side of the Mononoke or the humans. I need to take you down so I can go back to sleep." And afterwards, we cut back to the outside, and the flower starts to crack. And once it's cracked, everybody moves out of the way, and we get a full panel of the hand coming out, and it's a huge hand. Like it's freaking big, and the flower dissipates, and Jiro comes back basically. He's like, "Oh man, like, it sucks. I was the last one basically." And afterwards, of course, Jiro and Renko tell him everything that they know from the flashback. And a Mononoke named Amangi, huh? So I guess sounds like he's a higher up in enemies himself. Basically, he's a higher up enemy, and that's where the chapter ends. And one of my biggest things about this chapter was I feel like they should have had a little bit of a I know I know it couldn't have been done because it kind of wouldn't make sense, but a little bit of Jiro's backstory. I would have liked to see that. That would have been nice to see, like things Jiro has seen, like with the like grandfather and whatnot. But it was still a good chapter. We got to see everybody else's backstories. We got to see how um Riji and Ichika were as kids, and what their drives and motivations were. But um, but yeah, it was a good chapter overall, and This is where the chapter ends, and this is also where the video ends. So thanks for watching, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe if you did enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Take care.